Hey, you guys! I think you know what that means since I did theme before that yelling. So, if you know what it is, good. Can you believe it's been 50 years since this show came out? Let's talk about the Electric Company in this TV log right now. This is a Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews TV log. Greetings, my fellow YouTubers. Welcome to the TV log number 30, actually. This is the 30th TV log. Hi, I'm Noel, better known as the Big D. This, of course, is Big D's Entertainment Rankings and Reviews, and this is a special TV log, but I'm still going to consider it the 30th episode. Today I'm going to talk about a show that just turned 50 today. Now, as you know, years back, long before they even had stuff you all remember watching maybe in the afternoons and in the 90s, such as Arthur, or heck, even Postcards from Buster, or Maya and Miguel, or well, just about any of those other things. We didn't have that stuff back in the days. When back in the day, we had Mr. Rogers, Sesame Street, and this show. I may not have been born in the 70s, but I saw reruns of this in the 80s, though. So now, without further ado, I bring to you in this TV log the one, the only, the original version of The Electric Company. Yep, it was 50 years ago today, on October 25th, 1971, when this show premiered. The Electric Company was an educational children's television series created by Paul Dooley. It premiered on PBS, the same network that aired Sesame Street and Mr. Rogers. The show was, of course, produced by the same company that did Sesame Street, the Children's Television Workshop. Well, Sesame Workshop to y'all nowadays. Anyway, now this show is considered to be a sister to Sesame Street. Unlike that, it employed sketch comedy and various other devices to provide an entertaining program to help elementary school children develop their grammar and reading skills. Now, since it was intended for children who had graduated from seeing the flagship program, Sesame Street, the humor was more mature than what was seen there. Anyway, now in many areas, a preview special called Here Comes the Electric Company was seen in syndication through sponsor Johnson Wax, well, of course that's SC Johnson Wax, y'all, on many local commercial stations during the week before its debut in 1971. Anyway, the show featured several great big cast members. The first original cast included Morgan Freeman, Rita Moreno, Bill Cosby, Judy Graubart, Lee Chamberlain, and Skip Hennett. Now, most of the cast had done stage repertory and sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied. Improvisational work. There, I got it. With Cosby and Moreno already well-established performers on film and television. Now, Ken Roberts, who worked on the first two seasons, who was best known as a soap opera announcer, and most notably for CBS's The Secret Storm and Love of Life, was the narrator of some segments during season 1, most notably the parody of the genre that had given him prominence, Love of Cher, which I'll get to that in a little bit. Later on, Jim Boyd, who was strictly an off-camera voice actor and puppeteer during the first season, began appearing on camera in the second season, mostly in the role of the character of J. Arthur Crank. At the same time, Luis Avalos joined the cast as well. Now, Cosby was a regular in season one and occasionally appeared in new segments during the second season, but he left afterward. Because, of course, in 1972, CBS premiered his Saturday morning hit, Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids. Anyway, nevertheless, segments that Cosby had taped during seasons 1 and 2 were repeatedly used for the rest of the run, and Cosby was billed as a cast member throughout. Similarly, Chamberlain also left after the second season, but many of her segments were also repeatedly reused. Consequently, she was also billed as a cast member for the rest of the show's run. Added to the cast at the beginning of season 3 from 73 to 74 was Hattie Winston, an actress and singer who later appeared on TV's Becker with Ted Danson. Also appearing on the show during this period was Irene Kara, and I'm thinking surely some of y'all know who that is. Of course, that's the chick who would later become a big singing superstar. Most of y'all know her from singing the theme to the hit movie Flashdance. Was a member of a child singing group called the Short Circus. I'll get to them in a little bit. And then in the fourth season, Danny Segrin, a puppeteer who had worked on Sesame Street and also as a professional dancer, appeared in the role of the first ever live action role of Marvel Comics' own friendly neighborhood you know who, Spider-Man himself. Once that started, Marvel Comics published Spidey Super Stories, which of course that was the name of the Spider-Man segment that tied into Segrin's appearances, who of course in character never spoke aloud or unmasked himself. Unfortunately, doesn't go up against his actual comic foes such as Doc Ock and Scorpion and Vulture or any of those others. And of course, we gotta know that great theme song. You know, it went like this: Spider-Man, where are you coming from, Spider-Man? Nobody knows who you are. Yeah, that's how it went. And the Short Circus, did the theme song for later episodes. Now, of course, also there were various selected sketches. Among some of them include 5 seconds, which halfway through the show, viewers were challenged to read a word within a 5 or 10-second time limit. Now, in seasons 3 or 4, and 4, excuse me, in a send-up of Mission Impossible, the word will self-destruct in a scanimate animation sequence after the time expired. In the final 2 seasons, the viewers had to read the word before a cast member or a group of children did. Let's see, there's also Giggles Goggles. 2 friends converse while riding a tandem bicycle and performing similar activity together. Most notably, it was usually Rita Moreno and Judy Graubart. One would humorously misuse a word, and the other would correct her, with the process being repeated several times until they returned to the original word. Let's see. Now, Judy Graubart also did some characters on here, including Julia Grown Up, a parody of Julia Child in Here's Cooking at You, which was a send-up of Miss Child's cooking shows, as well as Jennifer of the Jungle, which was a Borscht Belt-style parody of George of the Jungle, which of course you know that cartoon, a send-up of Tarzan. And Jim Boyd dressed in costume as Paul the Gorilla, which actually that character would also be shown in the new version of the Electric Company. But like I said, this video is only focusing on the original series, not the remake series. There was also The Last Word, but it was only shown at the end of the first season. We hear Ken Roberts gravely state, "And now the last word." And an unseen cast member would read the word aloud and into the shot and turn the light off by tugging the pull chain. Let's see, and then there's Love of Chair, as I mentioned. Ken Roberts did the narration, who was Also, the announcer for Love of Life would read a Dick and Jane type style story about a boy, which is played by Skip Hint, sitting on a chair and doing simple things, concluding by asking questions in a dramatic tone and stuff have you. Which, one line is, "What about Naomi?" We don't even see this character. For these and other questions, we pop to one of the cast members saying something silly, and it's like, "What was the question again?" And the announcer goes, "Tune in tomorrow for Love of Chair." Really something. Let's see. There was also the Monolith, an animated short set in outer space and used to introduce segments involving a phonic, which of course is a large rectangular pillar of rock similar to what we saw in 2001: Space Odyssey. Um, let's see. And it was shown distributed to aliens and astronauts, shuddering and collapsing during a music bed of the entire opening fanfare of the course. Also, Sprach Zarathustra. Sorry if I mispronounced it. There was also a couple of segments featured on Sesame Street as well. There was even Roadrunner segments, which Chuck Jones produced and directed. Yeah, let's see. There's the soft shoe silhouettes. Two people in silhouette, one making the initial sound of a word and the other the rest of the word. The two then said the word in unison, which that was probably one of the more popular bits and what have you. And of course, there was a very short book where a cast member would read a nursery rhyme or story, turn the pages of a book that showed both the sentences and film footage of the action. The stories usually had a humorous ending that was different from the original. Yeah, but of course there was also, but then of course there was one thing that was pretty cool. The Adventures of Letterman! And this premiered in the second season. It's an animated segment. The title character is a flying superhero in a varsity sweater and a football helmet. Now usually, there'd be different voice actors voicing the title character. Well, rarely, we don't know. But we do find out Gene Wilder did the voice of the title character. Joan Rivers was the narrator of the segment. And Zero Mostel, who had worked with Gene Wilder on the producers, voices his arch nemesis, the Spellbinder, who's an evil magician who wears a turban, and he makes mischief by changing words into new words. Terrible. Yes. Spellbinder was given this move. He hates words and he hates people who use them. But we wonder where Letterman is, but suddenly he pops out and faster than a rolling O, stronger than Silent Eve, able to leap capital T in a single bound. It's a word, it's a plan, it's Letterman. Yes. Really cool. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. I know there was another segment on here. I'm trying to find this. You gotta bear with me. Oh, here it is. The blonde-haired cartoon man, voiced by a guy that Gene Wilder would actually work with, Mel Brooks. It's a character who would read words appearing on screen. However, they often showed up in the wrong order or made no sense. Thus, the character would resort to correcting the words. Yeah. And there's lots of other characters you'll get to see. But in the live action segment, we have Easy Reader, played by Morgan Freeman, who's a smooth hipster who loved reading since the first season. Now, he's associated with Vi, played by Lee Chamberlain, in the early seasons in her diner, because Vi's Diner was a segment as well. And then Valerie the Librarian, who was played by Hattie Winston. J. Arthur Crank, played by Jim Boyd, he's a plaid-wearing, grouchy character who interrupted sketches to complain when spellings or pronunciations confused him. Yeah, he was introduced reading the Spidey comic in Spidey's first episode, and Easy Reader, well, surprised him, and it's like, hey, come on, Easy. Spider-Man's he's a funny books character. Oh, yeah. Boyd also voiced Lorelei the chicken, and animated chicken appeared in live action scenes. See, who else was there? Oh yeah, here's another good one. Fargo North Decoder, played by Skip Hint. He's an Inspector Clouseau type detective who decoded scrambled word messages and phrases for clients. Yeah, now we do get to see some Sesame Street characters appearing. Grover actually appeared in one Vice Diner segment, and Big Bird appeared in one of Fargo North stories. And Fargo's like, I've seen that character before, and once after his theme comes to an end, and they at the end they play a horn, and he's like, I remember Mr. Rogers. Oh boy, Fargo North is a little bit clueless. Actually, he is. Let's see. Now Rhea Moreno had some pretty good characters like Millie the Helper, who, of course, was the one who shouted, "Hey, you guys!" Of course, in her segments, but unfortunately, that wasn't used in the first season. Though, for season 2, from here on out, that "Hey, you guys" bit was used before the actual theme song. Next, she plays Otto the director, a short-tempered film director, a takeoff of Otto Preminger, who tried in vain to get her actors to say their lines correctly with the help of a cue card to highlight the word they kept missing. And let's see, and Pandora the brat. Yeah, bright but lovable blonde girl who tried to outwit the adults around her. Incredible, people. Really incredible. Now, of course, the adult cast did have recurring roles. Skip Hint was JJ. Rhea Moreno was Carmela. Lee Chamberlain played Brenda in the first 2 seasons, while Hattie Winston took over and played Sylvia. Morgan Freeman plays Mark. Now, unfortunately, Freeman does not like to talk about the electric company, so if you encounter him, do not bother talking to him about the electric company. He don't like to talk about it. Well, so I heard from Miss Moreno in a little something on the best of the best, the electric company DVD I got a few years back. Let's see. Bill Cosby played Hank during his run. Luis Avalos played Roberto. Julie Graubart played Winnie, and Jim Boyd played Andy. Yeah, and there's lots of other characters as well. So anyway, next would be the Short Circus, a pun on Short Circuit. They are 5-member singing band whose songs are facilitated reading comprehension. Lots of their songs are pretty good. Like among some of those I like include "Who Was," "The Knock Knock Rock," and "The Sweet Sweet Sway." Plus, there's lots of other good songs. The only person who stayed with them through the whole run was June Angela. Anyway, now the others lasted anywhere from 1 to 4 years tops. Irene Kara, who I brought up earlier, only appeared in the first season. So she was replaced by the late Denise Nickerson, who recently appeared on Dark Shadows. And of course, a year before this, you knew her best as a certain Violet Beauregard in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Now, the other 3 original members included Melanie Henderson, Stephen Gustafson, and Douglas Grant. Later on, let's see. Grant and Nickerson left in the 3rd season. Nickerson left from the 3rd season, and Grant left from the 4th season. And they were replaced by Bane Johnson and Greg Burge. Now, an entirely new short circuit was cast for the fifth and sixth seasons. And of course, June and Angela stayed on there. The others were Todd Graff, Ronnie Lewis, Janina Matthews, and I'm sorry if I mispronounced this, Muglor. I'm sorry. Now, they also used character names. June Angela was Julie, Irene Kara was Iris, Stephen Gustafson as Buddy. The list goes on. Anyway, but there was lots of other cameo appearances. Oh, yeah, I almost forgot Oscar the Grouch appeared on there as well. But there are several others as well, including Dan Rowan, Dick Martin, and Gary Owens of Rowan Mars Laughing, Tony Orlando, even Barbara Eden, Carol Burnett, Lauren Green, Woody Allen, Diane Keaton, Dean Martin, Lily Tomlin, Gene Stapleton. Again, the list goes on. Anyway, really something. There's also very popular music songs as well. Some of them were written by Joe Raposo, who was famous for his work on Sesame Street. He was the music director of the series for the first 3 seasons and wrote songs for the show during its entire run. And Tom Lehrer, who was a satirist and pianist, wrote 10 songs for the series. 2 of those, which were L.Y., which that was a popular one, and the ever-popular Silent E, whose visual segment was directed by Clark Gessner and animated by Tony Benedict. Yes, those were really something. There was OU, the Hound Song, SN, Snore, Sniff, and Sneeze, and N apostrophe T were included on some of his sets and what have you. But there's so many other things as well. And Warner Bros. Released a soundtrack album to this, which won a Grammy Award. So anyway, the Electric Company was just so much fun to watch. After a total of 780 episodes produced and aired during its 6-season run, PBS ended the show in April of 1977. However, the program continued in reruns until October of 1985. Now, the show had later gotten reruns on the Noggin Network, which is where I got to see it again, which that was really something. And I'm just glad I've got to enjoy it. Shout Factory actually released the Best of the Electric Company, and also a second one, but I never did get those. I wished, but anyway, I got the Best of the Best, which only includes 5 episodes and introductions to the episodes by Rita Moreno herself. Now, there was also a special called The Electric Company's Greatest Hits and Bits, which included interviews with cast members, voice talent, and Joan Gans Cooney. The full special is on YouTube, as a matter of fact. Look it up. You can find select clips and what have you from The Electric Company as well. In 2009, there would be a reboot of the series, which was much more different and involved a group of kids with these here magic word balls that take on their arch enemies, the pranksters. But I'll talk about that in a future TV log if you'd like, okay? But that's about it. That's about all I can tell you. Oh yeah, you can find Letterman segments on YouTube. You can find Spidey Super Stories. Look up some of those. You should check out you should see The Birthday Bandit and Spidey Meets the Prankster. Those are 2 of my favorites. But anyway, The Electric Company, I love it. And this would be CTW's second big hit after Sesame Street. And of course, even just maybe 2.5 months later after this show came out, PBS did come out with another children's series. One I never had actually watched, but just more recently I have, and that was the WGBH produced Zoom, which I will be doing a TV log of that early next year, so be on the lookout for that. But anyway, that's all I've got to say. Enough said. Alright, so what are your thoughts on the series? Did you ever watch The Electric Company when you were young, or did you ever catch reruns of it? You can tell me what you think of the show in the comments section below. If you like this video, click the like button below, subscribe to my channel, and be a part of the Big D Nation. And join me next time when I bring to you a review of Mel Brooks' Young Frankenstein. And stay tuned, there may be another TV log coming up down the road, but if not, just stay tuned for Zoom coming up down the road. Anyway, thanks for watching, and if you like this, consider checking out these other 2 TV logs I did for these 2 PBS shows, also from the CTW, now known as Sesame Workshop. In the upper left-hand corner is the one I did on Sesame Street. The upper right-hand corner is the one I did for Ghostwriter. Or if you just want something else, that's fine, whatever you. I'd say go to the bottom left-hand corner and see my latest Saturday morning TV log for Hanna-Barbera and Harvey Comics Casper and the Angels. And the bottom right-hand corner is the button you can click to subscribe. If you like rankings and reviews on movies, TV, music, video games, etc., then I'm your guy. As well as the TV logs, if you like those as well. Thanks for watching. Until next time, I'm the Big D saying, see ya.